Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the sports arena. This is the Government Ops and Advocacy meeting being called to order. It's 12:25. And I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the prior committee meeting. Moved by Mr. Conover, second by Mr. Diamond. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Opposed? Passed. Okay, let's dig right in. We don't have a lot today, so everybody should be home for their afternoon naps. On the agenda today is the first thing is Pam Vogler is our county clerk. And she's going to talk to us about the Warren County mortgage tax from January through April 21. So Pam, take it away.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Beautiful day out there. So what we wanted to do with this particular discussion this morning was just bring you up to date on the mortgage tax that we have been collecting here. Local and additional stay with Warren County. So it's something that we definitely focus on. We're focusing on January through April. And what I sent to you, I believe, was the actual reports that we generate each month. At the end of each month, those reports are completed for mortgage tax, all the different parts of it, basic, local, additional, special additional, which is New York State, and then the interest. And we calculate those and obviously generate our MT4, signatures by the county clerk, signatures by the treasurer, and then the money is dispersed at the, once we have those, once we're fully reconciled. So, we have been paying close attention to our local tax. And so on the MT4, you've got one for each month. Which I think you probably had a little bit of time to look at. We're steady if you compare to last year, and really there's no comparison to last year, except that actually Warren County in the mortgage tax area did quite well. But right now we are seeing that the combined local tax and the additional, which stays with Warren County, is at about $909,000. I hope you have had a chance to take a look at the report. If there are any questions about each MT4 that we generate, you should also know that this report does go to the state of New York, and they of course maintain these, and they refer to them particularly during that time of apportionments. And for you at the local level, at the town level, you would be attentive to this particularly because of the basic mortgage tax that will come to you in the form of a semi-annual payment. Okay, so if I don't know if there are any questions about that, but the other form that I sent you, again, when we did our annual report for the 2020, we generated, a receipt and disbursement report. And I used that also in transmitting this information to you to show in one spot rather than on separate sheets where that local and additional is coming in. So when you received your agenda, under the lower half of that particular report, you see the mortgage tax local for each month. Of course, it would agree with the MT4, and then the mortgage tax additional. Important note here, and the reason why we're kind of focusing and coming together on a periodic basis is to make sure that we understand that the mortgage tax local is the one that is subject to renewal. And you'll see that that date for this particular local renewal will be in 2023. The mortgage tax additional, please understand that does not require a renewal. That is a different type of tax, even though it stays with the county, it has different requirements. And at the state level, that was passed in 1999. So that doesn't require a renewal. Both of those total together contribute to mortgage tax staying with Warren County. So any questions about those reports?
Okay, are there any questions?
Yes, sir.
First from the committee. Any questions from the committee? Okay, seeing none, Mr. McGowan.
Yeah, just a quick one, Pam. Thank you on that. Did you say that we collect the money and we send it down to New York State and then New York State gives the money back to us?
No,
All right.
No, I did not.
All right, okay. I just thought that seemed odd, but that's fine. All right, carry on. Thank you.
Okay, are there any questions out there from Mr. Diamond? I see Mr. Wild's on there and Mr. Legg. It's all on Zoomers. They're the Zoom kings today. Any questions from you three?
No.
All right, no questions. All righty. Anything else, Pam?
just to let you know, since the opening of our county building, April 12th, all has been going well in the various units and divisions that the county clerk has. We continue to get good reports from DMV. We advanced on pistol permit vacancies plus additional services on the front counter. That is going over very well. We had our Donate Life Awareness campaign, and that was very successful. We appreciated Chairwoman Sieber coming down, the assistance that we got from Don Lehman and our staff, and then obviously those that did sign up to be organ donors. So I believe everything seems to be working well. After I sent the agenda in, we did have one additional note that came in, which I'd like to share with you. It was from a local attorney and his abstract company. And it basically said, thanks so much for helping us through the COVID shutdown. We couldn't have continued our work without your above and beyond assistance. Now, this was sent to the employees of the county clerk's office, both the front counter and the public records room. So we appreciated those kind words as well. That's where we are right now.
Thank you. And all that good news that you have on B, that with the county DMV continues to receive positive comments, which is just an example of another one. When I came in today, there was a lot of activity down there. People coming and going. We're open for business, ladies and gentlemen. And it's all good news up here in Warren County. In fact, yesterday I was in a neighborhood and in Queensbury, and guy stopped me. I don't even know this guy from Adam. He said, "You're Doug Beatty?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "I just want to tell you the phenomenal job that's going on up at the county with Chairwoman Sieber. You were mentioned, Ryan, and the way this COVID was handled, they thought was A++. I wouldn't know this guy if I tripped over him. I don't even remember his name now, other than I think I call him Dad. No, but my father passed away long ago. But the point is, people noticed the job that this county did during COVID last year and is doing now, and I just wanted to throw that out there too. Okay, thank you, Pam. Is there any other questions for Pam? Okay, seeing none, thank you very much, Pam.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Keep up the good work. Okay, pending items, we actually had one, but it looks like it's not on there. I believe Supervisor Bramer wanted to talk about a charter commission for legislative form of government.
There's another agenda for it.
Oh, no wonder I didn't get the separate agenda. Thank you. This is the secret agenda. Okay. Resolution distributed by Supervisor Bramer at the April 19th meeting. Resolution establishing a county charter commission. Okay, now, she's not here. I believe she said she had a conference call at 12:30. So that's why her chair is empty as we speak. She was going to present this. I can ask that we put this on next month's agenda. Seeing that she's not here to present what she wanted to present. So without objection, do you, anybody have an issue with we just push it back to next month's agenda?
Chairman Beatty, this is Jack Diamond.
Yes, Mr. Diamond.
I'd like to see us advance this to the discussion phases. You know, having a charter commission with, to look at potential revisions, I think kind of makes sense. It's been long overdue at the county level, and I think if we can have some dialogue today in regards to this, I think that would just fast track the process along. I think, hoping my other colleagues see the importance of getting outside people that are appointed through our committee to advance this to a discussion phase. I don't know enough about it, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, but I'm certainly open to having individuals that want to volunteer their time in a commission format examine the options and bring it back to us. I don't see any harm in that at all. And I think that's basically what the resolution states, with with more description as far as the makeup of the commission itself. And those members are going to be appointed by this particular committee itself. So I'm willing to move forward with it if my colleagues on the committee are willing to commit to that also.
So are you making a motion, Mr. Diamond?
Yes, I'd like to put a motion on the floor that we advance this resolution to establish a charter commission made up of the individuals that are described in the resolution, and see where it ends up.
Okay. All right. So there's a resolution on the floor. Do I hear a second? But I don't believe you need a second in committee, but I'll ask for one anyway.
Okay.
Do I hear a second? Under Robert's rule, can I second that? I'll second that. I think it needs to have a full discussion and maybe even the board. Nothing, it does, no actions taken, nothing of the sort. It's just a discussion and so forth. Yeah, Mr. Leggett, I see your paws up.
Thank you, Chairman Beatty. I'm sorry not to be able to attend there. There's another event happening here in Chester right now. Wish I was right there to be in person. Hopefully, staff was able to get you a copy of a resolution that the Town Board of Chester had passed at their regular monthly meeting several weeks ago in opposition to changing the structure of the legislative body of the county.
Yes, we did. Thank you, Mr. Leggett.
Yeah, so this is an idea that has been discussed quite a bit around the county over the years, and it's been considered by others. And I felt that it was very important for the town board, who are elected representatives of the citizens of the town of Chester, to be apprised of the situation. And this is what came out of that meeting. So that's basically the voice of the people of the town of Chester speaking.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion?
Chairman Beatty, this is Andrea. Can you hear me?
Yes, Ms. Hogan. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Would you be able to send out to the rest of the board that resolution from Supervisor Leggett?
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. Yes, I guess it was a resolution from his town board just stating that they were in opposition of it. Do you have the resolution from Supervisor Bramer just asking to establish a county charter commission for discussion and so forth? Have you received that?
I have. I am actually in support of forming a charter commission to discuss it. I would like to hear from the people of the county, the whole county, what their thoughts are on this. Mm-hmm. So I do support moving forward with this, but I'm also interested to see the language that the town of Chester has put out there. That's all.
Okay.
Thanks.
We'll have that sent out to you, Supervisor Hogan. Okay, thank you.
Chairman Beatty?
Yes.
Chairman Beatty?
Yes, Mr.
Could you
Diamond.
send me a copy of that also? Could you send me a copy of that resolution also? Because I haven't had.
I'll have it sent to the full committee, and I'll tell you what, why don't we send it just to all the supervisors? Yes, full board. That would take care of, here and there and everywhere. Okay, further discussion. Chairwoman Sieber.
Thank you, Chairman Beatty. I know Supervisor Bramer has her conference call and had handed me some notes, but I think maybe what's appropriate is to table it over to next month and have a further discussion and presentation so that she can convey her thoughts on this as well. I don't know if it was officially, I didn't see it on the resolution that went out as an item, so I guess in that updated one, but there also seems to be other correspondence that wasn't attached to it. I'm not on your committee, I just wanted to weigh in.
Hey,
I mean, or you take a vote on further to the full board
Yeah.
for discussion, either one, but just FYI, I don't know how long it'll be.
Mr. Diamond.
Yes,
um,
yes.
Did you want to speak? I thought I saw you.
Yeah, well, I did. I spoke a couple of times, but what I'd like to add, that not only a copy of the resolution, but I'd like to see a copy of the minutes of the town board meeting when this was discussed. Also, I think that would be helpful. Just by reading the resolution, I'd like to see how the dialogue went.
Okay, we'll have the town board meetings of Chester.
And I guess I could resend my putting forth this resolution to a later date if some of my colleagues feel more comfortable on looking at this and including, the minutes of the Chester Town Board meeting along with that resolution. But I do agree that I don't have any problems at all forming this commission to examine the situation. So.
Are you asking to table it, Mr. Diamond?
He's not on the committee.
It sounds like Chairwoman Sieber wanted to table that, and
You're wrong,
I
Mr.
believe that
Oh, I see.
you had mentioned something that because Supervisor Bramer wasn't present, it seems to be that's going to go. I'd rather not see this just fail. I'd rather have a good-hearted discussion on this topic.
Okay, so I will entertain can we entertain his motion to table? Okay.
To resend it, yeah.
Okay, to table until next meeting.
Discussion.
Sure.
Do we have discussion when we table, or do we just take, I'll second that to table. Do we have a vote then? Vote to table? We can discuss the motion to table. Mr. Conover?
Yeah, this entire subject was introduced to the board now about 5 years ago. There was extensive discussion at that time. It was hugely rejected by the board at that time. The whole concept was hugely rejected. Interestingly enough, 3 of the 5 supervisors that existed then are on the board today. That would be Ms. Deeper, Mr. Beatty, and Ms. Kramer. Opposed to it then, I'm opposed to it now. I mean, they asked the question, it's such a simple question, is why would why would anyone object to playing Russian roulette with 4 bullets in the gun? Well, let me tell you, I object, and I object strenuously. The fact of the matter is, we have a beautiful form of government that operates wonderfully, and that's represented in all kinds of metrics, all kinds of metrics. Now, we up on the north end, we don't have a lot of weighted vote. We don't have as much weighted vote as some of the other supervisors in the room, and that's okay. That's part of the rules of the road. But we have a seat at the table, and we have a voice. And even the smallest among us has a voice. And this process would take that voice away. It would take the home rule away. That was the issue then. That's the issue today. It is bad government. It is replacing a government that works beautifully. The same government, I might add, that they have in Saratoga County, they have in Washington County, they have in Essex County, and I don't know, 3 or 4 other, 5 other counties. So I will be voting against the tabling, and I will be voting against the motion when it's made. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Wild and then Ms. Sieber.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I am in full agreement with Supervisor Conover. I appreciate the voices that I hear from others in the county. And I'm not sure I just want to defeat this today, but I would like some history. We're talking about getting a commission together to look at something, but why don't we, before we even go there, look at the last time this was evaluated? do we have minutes from the discussions from the last times the Board of Supervisors evaluated this? And what came out of that? I know it was defeated, but what were the reasons? What was the understanding of what this new form of government, and I can't have any opinion about whether it's better or worse. My sense is it's worse because of the lack of voices from the North Country towns. But can we get minutes? Can we get information from the last time this was studied before we make a decision in terms of whether we want to go forward? Why waste the public and the commission's time if we can get a chance to look at that and say, look, these are all valid reasons why it was defeated last time. Why go through this again?
Ms. Seaver?
Thank you. I have two comments. One directly after Supervisor Weil, I think he brings up a good point about wanting more information. And we did take a look at this several years ago, but it was my understanding then that the appropriate time to look at possible change of board structure comes around the time of the census. And we just had a census. And with those numbers that are going to start to be released and looked at and determined how we are best representing our constituents, I think it's appropriate to not only look at the new numbers that are coming out and make decisions based on data, as well as good policy, but it is good government to be looking at that. And we only have that opportunity every 10 years. So it may be helpful to look at what we have already discussed, what has changed, and then what that new data looks like. But my second point is to Supervisor Conover's example of playing Russian roulette and 4 bullets to a gun. In this world of violence, I am going to please ask that our board members remain incredibly sensitive to victims of violence and to threats and to any type of comment that is made in a public hearing that would invoke or elicit any triggering responses or feelings of violence. I do take objection to it, and I would just ask that we are very, very careful in what we say publicly at our board meetings. Thank you. I'm sure, Supervisor Conover, that would never be your intent, but there are many examples and comments that are made, and we just came out of National Crime Victims' Rights Week, and it would be a nice reminder to all to just be careful about those types of comments.
Thank you, Ms. Seaver.
Yeah.
Mr. Conover?
Yeah, two comments. One, the chairwoman's comments break, I don't know how many rules of Robert's Rules of Order in terms of mentioning other supervisors by name and at least suggesting certain suggestions. That's just outrageous. But that's enough said. I've learned to expect that. The second thing is that the comment that was made is totally factually incorrect. What's done with the decennial census is to determine the weighted vote of the Board of Supervisors. Is not used to determine the form of government. That is simply a patently incorrect statement that's being made. Now, as to the weighted vote of the government, that has already been tested in court. The whole process was tested in court. That was one of the arguments that was made 5 years ago that was dispelled. So here we are here again, revisiting an issue that simply would wipe out the representation from any of a number of municipalities in the county. And it's that representation that's the glue that holds us together. As I look up on the wall, I see all different types of communities, all different sizes of communities. And then when you look at the metrics, I mean, here we are a county that has one of the lowest borrowings to assess value in the state of New York. We have one of the lowest tax rates in the state of New York. We have departments that have performed beautifully. And we hear that time and time again. We heard that today regarding the county health department. So we have a great quality of life. The effort on the part of some to continually revisit this issue is really unfortunate. I'm opposed to it. I was opposed to it then. I'm opposed to it. I mentioned at the last committee meeting that I was opposed to it, and I'm opposed to it going forward. Thank you.
I think we got your position. Thank you, Mr. Conover. Any other discussion? Okay, so we need a vote on the tabling?
Yes.
Okay, so all in favor of tabling this to next month until Supervisor Bramer can be here to go through her proposed charter commission? All in favor of tabling, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. There's 2 ayes. Okay, opposed?
Opposed.
I see two opposed. Mr. Wild, are you opposing? Or,
Opposed.
pardon me?
Opposed.
You're opposed. Okay, so it's not tabled. Okay, so
If you could, might as well just call the question.
thanks for helping me run the meeting, Mr. Conover. Next time, if I need your help, I'll ask. Otherwise, okay, thank you. We don't need to be running the meeting that you're not chairman of. Okay. Is there any-
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Any
I don't really think that was called for. Your comment back to, the other prior supervisor, we need to keep decorum, and it goes back and forth all the time here. And it's
Mr.
not.
Wild, you weren't recognized, Mr. Wild? Were you
A point of
recognized?
order, I am recognized. for the
I
point of order.
didn't hear the point of order. State your point of order.
Point of order is that you're also addressed disrespectfully the prior speaker. And we have to go through the minutes and we have to go through the tape, but that type of behavior I take offense to. And I think our constituents would think it's offensive also.
Okay, Mr.
You
Thank you,
show
Mr.
respect.
Wild. Thank you, Mr. Wild. You weren't in the room, so you didn't see or hear Mr. Conover interrupt. And so obviously, maybe being in the boardroom has its advantages. But being on Zoom, you didn't see or hear the interruption. So I'm sorry you didn't, Mr. Wild. Hopefully next time you'll be able to bless us with your presence here as everyone else, because it's much more effective government. But thank you for your comments. All right, seeing no more discussion, I'll call the question. All in
And
favor of the
Mr.
charter?
Chairman, can you restart the, yes,
Yeah, I'm restating the question, Mr. Leggett.
thank you.
You're welcome. All in favor of the motion, which is to establish a charter commission to look into the legislative form of government, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
Opposed.
Okay, so you have the opposed and the ayes, right? Okay, motion failed. All right, I'd like to put it on the agenda for next month, a pending item, to give Ms. Bramer the opportunity to discuss. So please have it on next month's agenda. Okay, seeing no other business, I'll entertain a motion to,
Mr. Chairman?
yes,
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to bring up a discussion on it, if you don't mind. It's more of a question. Do I have the floor?
it wasn't on the agenda, Mr. Wild. Would you like to put it on the agenda for next month?
It's basically just a question. Yes, I would like to put something on the agenda for next month, if you don't mind.
Okay, go ahead. State what would you like to put on for next month?
So it's really a question, but what I'd like to do is also put on the agenda the resolution for approving the ethics and the financial disclosure, because it is a local law, and I thought all local laws were to come through government apps. So I would think that, and respectfully, instead of just being a personnel, it should come through this committee also.
We can put down as a discussion item. Thank you, Mr. Wild. Put that down as a discussion item. Thank you. Okay, any further discussion? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr.
So
Conover,
moved.
second by Mr.
I'll
Diamond.
second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay,
Aye.
ladies and gentlemen.